Okay, welcome back. Today, with the Gauntlet, we are playing 316 Carnage Amongst the Stars, the game by Gregor Hutton. We are currently on planet number 18 of 20 plus, who knows. My name is Donna. I'm going to be running the game tonight. My pronouns are he, him. So yeah, let's get intros from our players and their characters in rank order, top to bottom. Jim.
Cool. So I'm Jim Crocker. I run and play a whole lot of games on the Gauntlet. I use he, him pronouns, but they, them is fine with me too. You can find me on Twitter at Jim Likes Games, where I'm not doing it. Mostly I'm just resting, kind of psychically taking a break from everything that happened. A lot of stuff happened on Twitter in the last couple of weeks. So I'm just sort of taking it easy there. But I'm one of the folks that helps co-organize the Gauntlet Community Open Gaming events. We've got another one of those coming up probably in February. So keep your eye out for that if you want to play with us on the Gauntlet at gauntlet-rpg.com. I am playing Lieutenant BD for Button Down. So I am, have been, I think I've played in like 14 out of the 18 sessions that we've had here, something like that. There's one rotation where, I was rotated out, probably gone back for officer training or something like that. But have been with the campaign through most of this and working my way up the ranks, known for knowing all of the regulations, including the places where there might be loopholes in that regulation, and you can, get around them to get things done, and encourage, all of my troops and officers to know those regulations well for that very reason, so that, because A, those regulations help keep us alive, and B, if you have a conflict with someone else and the regulations are on your side, you will probably win. So it is good to know them and to know the ground that you're standing on. So yeah, and I'm my squad has performed admirably so far. We've lived this far, so we'll see how the rest of it goes.
You gave yourself a demotion there, Jim. It's Major BD.
Oh, I'm Major now. That's right. Yes, yeah.
Okay, Brian.
You're right. Yeah, it's Major now. Sorry about that. That was as of like 2 games ago. So I'm using the wrong nomenclature.
Yeah, Brian, he, him. I'm playing Captain Terry Miter, also he, him, who was a trooper in the very first session where Jim's character was our sergeant. I basically, at the end of this series, I'll have been in 3/5, I guess, of the session, something like that. Yeah, Terry is a very hyperactive captain, and has finally succeeded in updating the regulations on the use of grenades. So I don't know what his next obsession will be.
I think it has to be the use of his TPK grenade. I mean, that will cap off that that manual entry brilliantly. Puckett.
Hi there, I am Puckett. I use he, him pronouns. Today I'll be playing Sergeant Dietrich. And, well, I like my steak tough. I like my shoes dry. And I like it when my troopers don't throw grenades in my general direction.
That sounds like the perfect segue to Leandro.
Yeah, hi, I'm Leandro, UCM pronouns. I'm the comparative noob that has been dropped into this campaign, playing the newly minted, formerly trooper, somehow has now become Corporal Crestmeyer, who may have been a bit lax with their grenades, being a total noob, and had an incredibly paltry kill count from last mission, but got a promotion and a lot of eyes on them because he's incredibly beautiful. It's now being used for propaganda. So there you go. Meritocracy sure is a thing in this military. Yes, exactly. So pretty. He's doing his part.
Yeah. So I think we have to open up with fan mail for Corporal Crestmeyer. You know what's going on with this avalanche of fan mail that you've been getting since the last resupply?
Because Corporal Crestmeyer is exact in in what they do. He reads through every single letter or email that's at least passed on to him. He assumes the military is screening this. If
I mean,
just to make sure no bad stuff.
I mean, they're screening your mail. I don't think they care about, you know, what hormonal people back home are writing to you, but maybe they do. I think what may have happened also is that another trooper in the squad, Trooper Apples, has appointed herself your unofficial agent, right? And she is kind of screening your post because you don't have time to read all this, man. I'm just going to give you the best pieces. So yeah, we don't want you to get overwhelmed. So yeah, I mean, Trooper Apples is a big fan. I mean, not really, but you know, she thinks you're cool.
Okay. She wasn't around to see me fumble those grenades.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We got to use those grenades somehow. Otherwise, it'd be a waste of government resources. Yeah, huh?
Mm-hmm. I think Crestmeyer just bowed over just by all this, and he just reverts to the usual. Yeah, yes. I can't really call Trooper Apple sir or ma'am.
No, definitely not.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot of invitations to hey, would you come and help open, I don't know, the I'm trying to figure out I don't know what the setting is. Some opening to like the welcoming community, the welcoming committee's new community theater center or something like that. There's a lot of, or would you go support this governor in their re-election party that's coming on? It's a lot of like offers of all sorts. Would you endorse this energy drink? That sort of thing. Would you endorse this? Someone sent me a camera that apparently I should like keep around and then make, and be sure like if you use this camera for any official military propaganda, be sure to shout out their name. Might be more in the pipeline.
Yeah, so I think someone has sent you an actual package with some, I don't know, Blue Bull energy drink, right? To see and if what's the name of your cameraman Spudmeyer, was it?
Yes.
So Spud is gonna see if he can get an action shot of you cracking open that can on the next planet. It's gonna be, it's gonna be so awesome, right? It's gonna be definitely billable, right?
Yeah. The thing is that like Crestmeyer isn't the most action heavy person, so they just get this like this beautiful shot against the setting sun of him just like sipping this energy drink, looking thoughtfully out into the distance. It's a bit more romantic than what they expect. Of course, Crestmeyer's just thinking about lunch.
We'll do the explosions and the aliens in post-production, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Dietrich, your sergeant station is overflowing with all of this bloody fan mail, and it's a little bit distracting. And now, a couple of the troopers who were in Spudmeyer's pieces in the background have started getting their own fan mail too. And now, Central Casting apparently has sent you a new recruit. But this is all a bit too hectic. This is all a bit not killing for you. How are you coping with this deluge of stuff?
Crestmeyer, we got to have ourselves a talk.
Yes, Sergeant.
Crestmeyer, what did I tell you about calling me Sergeant?
You told me not to call you sir. Or was I mistaken? If so, I apologize, sir, Sergeant.
Right. Let's go over this again, Crestmeyer. You only need to say that stuff if a higher ranking officer is around. Me, I'm informal. I don't hold with none of that, sir, sergeant. You survived a mission. You didn't kill me. We're on solid ground now. Crestmeyer, you got to do something about this mail.
Okay, Dietrich. Well, the brass sent me another recruit to sort through them, so I don't have to look through them. Not that I don't mind looking through them. Maybe you can order another grunt to sort through your mail.
I had a slightly different idea.
Okay.
I heard of this thing called a form letter.
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking, instead of going through all these and answering all of them and responding to them point by point, we just write up 3, 4, half a dozen letters, print them out, you sign them. Save some time. What do you think?
That seems informal. Somewhat informal. And sure, we're not breaking some hearts here doing that.
Crestmeyer, which would you prefer? Breaking a heart or two back on a planet that, if you're lucky, you will live to see again someday, or not having time to do maintenance on your weapon and dying in the field because you were answering a letter?
The former?
We are speaking the same language today, Crestmeyer. Hallelujah. So, here's what you can do. You can write up a couple of them letters, make them all pretty like. We can just duplicate them, print them out, have you sign them. And that'll help out with the other troopers who are starting to get fan mail because somebody saw them in your little, what do they call it? Video package or something?
I think the boys are calling them propaganda pieces or pro piece.
That almost sounds disgusting, Crestmeyer.
I didn't come up with it.
Well, not saying you did, but not blaming you for it. Just the way it is. But I want to make sure that you know how to clean your weapon, take care of your gear, maintain stuff. Because when we're out in the field and you got somebody following you around with the camera, taking all those action piece footage things and trying to make you look all pretty and heroic, how's that going to look if, one, you die, or two, they have to add in stuff in whatever because your gun broke down, jammed because you weren't maintaining it? That ain't going to look very good, is it?
No, it would
That'd be like what do you call it? The opposite of a propaganda piece. That would discourage people to sign up, would it not?
Yeah, it would. I understand. I'll write up a letter or two.
Well, you can get some of the other troopers to help you. I mean, we're on the ship right now, but just do me a favor, put some of that mail aside, spend some time maintaining your gear tonight before we drop. Understood?
Just out of habit, Crestmeyer, still give you a salute. Yeah, so Dietrich, will do.
You're getting it. Crestmeyer. Ain't such a bad egg. Just keep that head on your shoulders instead of having some bug cut it off. I mean,
Thanks.
I understand that. Well, whatever type of person you prefer probably prefers people with their heads attached instead of detached. So, glad we got this sorted. If you need me, I'm going to be maintaining weapons. Count my. And I'm actually just going to give you a grin with that and a wink, just to let you know it's kind of a joke. He's not being a dick. He's just joking at this point. You've actually made him crack a joke.
The universe is obviously about to end. Cool. For Miter, I think for some reason the quartermaster wants a word with you. He is dealing with boxes and boxes of surplus grenades that the troopers are no longer taking. Like, they are taking the minimum of one that they are required to have in their kit. And he's going, what am I supposed to do with all this? I've got every recruit who's come in the last week helping me to sort these grenades. Some of them, they are best before dates are coming up. Do you not think of this when you were writing your stupid memo? I don't know what we can do with these grenades that's safe now. They're just going to have to sit here.
Well, they can still be used to kill aliens somehow.
Well, yeah, but you put the fear of God into these troopers. They do not want to go near a grenade now for fear that you or Sergeant Dietrich will pull their heads out of their bodies, off their spines. Because if they even look at a grenade, they fear it's going to explode in their hands because you're against them.
I'm against the improper use of grenades.
Oh, yeah, you think these dumb troopers don't know how to use a grenade properly? No, they do not. I'm with you on that front, but telling them not to use them, I don't think there's any feature in that. Not in this army.
Well, we're just going to have to drill them more.
Okay, well, this guy here, Trooper Akagi, will you take him off my hands? Because he's been doing nothing but ask if any of these grenades came off of Corporal Crestmeyer's belt last time out. He is hunting for doohickeys that he can sell. And, I think he'd be better off on the front lines with you.
Fair enough. You wanna meet Crestmeyer? That's quite doable.
Well, take him off my hands, Miter, and I will. Oh yeah.
All right, fair enough. Just yeah, keep those grenades handy. We'll come up with something for them.
Listen, I can't put them away. They're out here in the corridor, in breach of all my quartermaster instincts. And so handy they are. I mean, it'll be handy if we get boarded again. There's be grenades for everyone, sharpish. Maybe that's your plan. I don't know. Thanks, Captain. So yeah, you get this fresh-faced 19-year-old who is very excited when he hears that he's going to be taken into Crestmeyer squad. And the annoying questions start almost as soon as you step out of the quartermaster's realm.
I think I shut down that pretty quickly. You seem to be a little confused as to which direction the questions go.
Well,
if I need to hear from you, if I need to hear from you, I'll be asking you a question, and then all I need back are answers.
Oh, sorry, sir, but I don't know anything, so you shouldn't ask me anything. Unless it's about Corporal
Then you should
Crestmeyer.
do less talking and more listening.
Oh, that's a good idea, sir.
All right.
I
Go
should
ahead
do
and
that.
start right now.
Yeah, okay. I'll definitely listen from now on, Captain. So
I'm going to go look for Crestmeyer to get him off my hands as quickly as possible.
How does the squad room or the platoon room know that Captain Miter is a little bit agitated when he comes into the bunk room?
I don't think Terry is usually the type to just step into the room and start shouting, but this time, yeah, he's like, Crestmeyer, where the hell's Crestmeyer? Get me Crestmeyer on the double.
I think Crestmeyer's being interviewed right now, so he's actually busy. So like maybe Trooper Apple's like will just come to tell you that like he's being interviewed for.
Yeah, so like the Spudmeyer is on camera and Apples has taken her role as producer seriously, and she like shushes you, Miter. It's like, we're on camera here, right? This is her sense of suicidal professionalism. If only she could apply that to the battlefield.
Close enough. What's the name of this new trooper?
Oh, Akagi.
Akagi here is Crestmeyer's new bodyguard.
Oh, okay, awesome.
So I'll leave him with you.
He'll do. Thanks, Captain.
Yeah, you do whatever they say.
Okay. Well, he is, pleased as punch to be, within touching distance of Crestmeyer, but he's just looking for now. Okay. So yeah, I think there's going to be a mood whiplash when we get to BD. You've just finished interviewing, is the polite term, interviewing one of those lost 229 troopers that you found on Matisse, McCready.
I think you mean debriefing.
Yeah, debriefing. And you and Borowski have gotten some good intel out of them. They have, you've had to fill in a lot of the details, but you have found out, you've identified a world called Picasso, which is some kind of planet that the 229 had a lot of trouble with. They lost a lot of people AWOL to it, but for some reason or other, it was never attacked or, cordoned off or anything like that. And so I think you've probably put a packet together to go up to Brigade to target that planet, or to at least take a look.
Yeah, certainly. So what does McCready say? Like, what did he tell us about it?
So it's like
information that we get, or
it's basically like a resort city on this nice, nicely temperate, not too bad world. It used to be like a proper resort that people went to back in the old days, and then it seems like a couple of his buddies who went AWOL sent him some messages, and he saw a lot of stuff going on, and there's a lot more than just those handful of people there. So definitely one to take a look at.
Yeah, I think this sounds like recon. We're gonna given what we encountered at the last resort planet we went to, we're gonna be, we're ready for something similar. I'm presuming we will probably run into something similar. And I want oh, you know what I would love is if we could get something that I would like to send that crystal for some kind of analysis. Give it to Borofsky, give it to his eggheads at SSG. I mean, we know it's got some kind of mutagen.
Yeah.
But what I would like is something, I would like something that we can use to test food, water, ventilation systems to see if there's any trace amounts of that stuff in it.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. Sounds like a plan. So yeah, you're putting this and you're going to send it off to the Boffins back in Brigade, the Special Studies group. So you'll have that in line, I think, for when you drop on Picasso. But this week, you've gotten an urgent message from Brigade about Renoir, this planet that's en route. It's not on. You don't recognize the name from the hit list, so it's not somewhere you're expected to hit.
Yeah, but this is part of being in the brigade. Is you go where you're needed when it's needed, and we don't always get to decide when the bugs. They don't operate on our schedule. We operate on theirs. So
this is a gas planet that the fleet has been using for refueling.
Sure, skimming off the atmosphere and stuff. Yeah, okay.
But the tenders and the gas fueling ships are overdue and aren't responding.
Okay.
So Brigade wants you to take a look. Okay. They're going to take on a planet they've already identified to purge. But you're going to do a little bit of recon, find out what's going on, hopefully find the fuel ship, and be back in time for tea and medals.
Excellent. All right, so call the briefing. I think what I usually do is I like chain of command. So now that I'm a major, I call Captain Miter in, debrief him, give him all the mission specs, and he delivers mission parameters to everybody else. Like he has the, the CAG meeting like you have on BSG or whatever, like he's got all the troopers there explaining what the mission is going to be and does the mission briefing. So I think Captain Miter, I call you in. And are you going to say anything about all this mishigas that's been going on with Crestmeyer, or do you want, do you want to me to just are you just hoping? I presume you've got that under control, or what?
I mean, if you ask for an update on the how things are, the status of how things are going, it would be it would be mentioned. So causing a lot of
I actually wouldn't ask.
Distraction.
I actually wouldn't ask because I think I'm so I'm aware of what's going on, but maybe not to the extent that like if you haven't explicitly kicked anything up to me that it's a problem, I presume I operate under the in the universe that it's not a problem.
I wouldn't bring it up out of nowhere, but if you say, I assume everything's going well, or any if you ask for any kind of status, then I would give, but otherwise, no. I assume you expect me to just take care of it.
So, I mean, to the extent that I ask for status, it's explicitly like about mission readiness and stuff like this, and but so we've got a. So I tell you that what we've got is recon, potentially assault, where we are investigating a gas giant that is a fuel depot. And this is something where we want to make sure that everybody is trained in a couple of protocols. First, that we're going to be around a whole lot of volatile equipment. And potentially, there's a high risk of, if we're in orbital gas skimming space stations and stuff like this. It's going to be a place that's dangerous. There's potential risk of explosive decompression, of, you know, errant weapons fire, setting off, you know, chain reactions and things like that. This is, and I emphasize to you that you should, you want to go back over again proper grenade protocol, because we're going into a place where an errant grenade might not just kill another trooper, it could kill all of us. Not to mention, you know, literally set back the entire war effort if it goes off in the wrong place. And so the point here is to, we are far less concerned about any individual casualties than we are with securing this resource and making sure that it is operational again, and that the fleet can fuel up, because this is a core strategic asset in this part of the galaxy for us. So this is actually this is the most important mission we've done so far.
Understood.
Dismissed.
So I guess details for your plan that are going to be useful to cover are the name of the fuel vessel is the Ararat. There are one or maybe two refueling or docking platforms in orbit. And then below that, these are in kind of the notes of the geographical planetary scan, is there are like floating islands lower down, like naturally occurring floating islands. There's never been any kind of prospecting or team sent down there to find out how they float or whatever. Maybe your boffins will enjoy that kind of encounter, but yeah, you know, Jack, about what goes down lower in the planet.
I mean, it's a gas giant. So what goes on down lower in the planet is like crushing atmosphere that will corrode our suits in a matter of minutes.
Yeah,
so
I mean, eventually,
we're gonna not worry about what is going on, you know, anywhere besides the upper atmosphere, because that's what we're concerned with.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And those floating islands are definitely be survivable for you. Yeah. You can land on it in a drop ship. You could probably hit it in a drop pod if you're feeling adventurous. You can walk around it, whatever. Mm-hmm. Just don't dive off to take a swim. And
no. You don't want to be the first Terran to walk on that planet, because you won't get that far. You won't be alive when you hit the surface, whatever the core of it is, the rocky core. So yeah, all right. Under all that plasma, there we go. So we're we spin up the FTL.
Yeah. Any details of this plan you wanna arrive at now? I mean, I guess, you know, no plan survives contact, but it's fun to see what you're thinking.
I think step one is to get onto the Ararat, onto the fuel vessel. So it seems to me like that's a drop pod. So that is we load into the drop pod, it gets launched out of our vessel, you know, lampreys onto the side. You know, this is not like, because we don't know what's going on, we're going to assume that there is, if not enemy activity, then there was some kind of a industrial accident or something like that. And that this is, that we're going in hot, presuming that we're going to have to clear it out. So I think, you know, in this, like the drop pod, instead of being something that drops in and the sides blow out and we roll out of it in the planet, like I said, it's essentially like a big torpedo that we're all kind of in, gets shot out, lampreys onto the side, laser cutters through the hull. Bam, we kick it out, and boom, we're in the quarters of the ship there.
Yeah, and you've done that in the past, right? You've used it
Yeah.
as a 40K style boarding torpedo.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think maybe like we might have seen this in our campaign before when we did the ship to ship operations. When we did that, the war games, we might have seen somebody use that, just in a quick, flash by, and now it's making its reappearance.
Yeah, I think we did it on camera in a different planet. I can't remember the name of it now.
Cool.
There was the carrier of the 229 was discovered around a planet, and he hit that. I think that might have been Miter in command of that.
Yeah, I was not in that episode, so that was cool. Like I said, I was getting my officer training.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. Yeah, we're gonna go in with the drop pod, hit it, and go from there. And then, once we've cleared the ship, then to the platform, then down to the islands. I think is the plan right now, is to start high up and work our way down to, investigate what's going on.
Yeah. So, you jump in around orbit, and this is big. This is classic. Jupiter plus sized, just shy of an actual star gas giant. It pretty much fills your viewport when you jump in, even though you're at a proper safe distance. And you don't see much in orbit. Those mining platforms to put the fuel in the fueling ships are nowhere to be seen. They are not there where they should be on the scanner, and you're not seeing the Ararat either. Though maybe a minute after you jump in, you're definitely getting a report from the comms panel to say you are picking up its transponder, and looks like it's adrift in further down in the atmosphere.
Take us. Okay, then I think that's then definitely. We're gonna load up into that drop pod, load the squad up, and I kit up, put my armor on, and we're good to go.
Okay. So everyone load up into this drop pod, and as before, you're getting shot directly at the Ararat out of this. What's everyone taking as their first weapon?
Do you even have to ask?
I'm obliged to ask at least, but okay. I message received loud and clear. Crestmeyer, I presume, good old. Well, actually, you have been promoted to corporal, right? So as well as your trusty slug rifle, you now have an option of your heavy MG, which you could use instead.
Yeah, I think I'll bust out this heavy MG, give it a go. For this mission, see how that feels.
Okay, cool. Miter, do I need to ask either? E-cannon?
E-cannon.
Okay. And how about BD?
I've got my sidearm as usual.
Okay.
Ready
cool.
to go.
So, who is? Sorry. Should I? Yes, well, it's going to be an ambush, right? But I still.
It's an automatic ambush when we start out. Yeah.
But we still need to roll. I think to see who chooses the range that you start at. So yeah, everyone can roll. I think it's a straight D10, right? Or is it a NFA check?
Probably NFA.
Yeah, I think it's an NFA check, as usual. Okay, so everyone make an NFA check, and whoever gets the best result.
Good luck, everybody.
I saw that roll, Jim. Jim rolled a 10, which is crazily a success, which counts as the highest success. So where are you putting people?
So before I set the range, can I ask you to give us some, like, a little narrative picture of what's going on?
Absolutely. So, as your drop pod is hurtling towards it, the buffeting is growing, not like a sudden crash like it is in normal atmosphere. It's like a sudden upsurge in pressure. And you see the Ararat drifting, and obviously there are still, like, maybe they're automatic or maybe someone is still piloting it, but there are still thrusters trying to keep station on it, because right underneath it you see the connections between it and the orbital platform going down into the depths. So the orbital platform is still, I don't know, 100 meters, 200 meters, whatever it is underneath that, trying to pull it down into crush depth. And what you see right when you just before you impact is you see what look like birds, certainly flying creatures of some sort, and they are kind of sitting on the hull, basically pecking at it.
Holy shit!
And there's some which have gotten inside, so like the you probably don't notice this, but we'll show it anyway, is that, some of those airlocks or some of those holes have been breached, and some of them are inside it, right?
All right, yeah. So so I think we're gonna, boom, lamprey on, like I said, like laser torches, like, Dietrich gives it a big booted kick, boom, the melted slagged side of the hull slams down into the hull, and we're just out in, and as whatever these creatures are coming in through breaches in the hull, or maybe even already on the ship, we're just we're just clearing the corridors as we're in. So I think near range is going to be what's going on.
Cool.
We're trying to
everyone likes
away
near
from
range.
us as best we can.
So I'm going to remove 4 tokens for your ambush. And everyone roll their kills. So in an ambush, you're succeeding straight away, and you're just rolling the kills for your weapon at this range. Yeah. So the benefits of an ambush, right, are pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, and I think I picked this trick up from Puckett, who I noticed was doing this. If you right click on your icon on the map, you can the little dot, the circles across the top, you can enter info in there. So you can keep track of your kills right on the icon there, so that you don't have to keep opening your character sheet. That was very clever when I noticed he was doing that the other day.
Okay, so why don't we describe? Everyone can again go around the shop to describe exactly how they do that. These things are basically pterosaurs, right? They are flying dinosaurs. Sorry, not technically dinosaurs, but you know what I mean. Reptilian, scaly, alien beings which have no right to fly, but are flying. Damn it. And it
seems like they can survive in the whatever passes for atmosphere here that certainly would, just like melt our lungs right out if we ever tried to take in a
this is definitely their native atmosphere, right?
Okay.
This is no problem for them. All right.
So I think
sorry, go ahead.
So to the extent that everybody else is just doing Carnage, BD is comes through, 3 shots body mass, one of them, it barely phases it. And then I realized that, if you sight down properly, and hit them in whatever like filtering mechanism they have, like their, whatever passes for nostrils for processing that, whatever that gaseous slurry that they breathe, that's actually a soft spot. And I just start realizing, okay, boom, a couple of shots to set it up. And then, so, I take down 5, but it's, like BD's careful, methodical, well-placed, no shouting, no come and get it, you bugs, whatever, just carefully, boom, boom, boom. Like any of them that are like coming at a trooper from a blind side or something like that, right? I'm basically there to kind of keep them off of the guys that are doing the real work.
Cool. I mean, straight between the nostrils doesn't quite have the classic ring to it, but it's effective, right? Cool. Brian, how about Miter?
Yeah, I mean, I think you get a grin from Miter. Like, yeah, I've been aiming for right between the nostrils, and just sends a blast that, like, wipes out 10 of them in one shot, and yeah, then lines up the the next shot.
How about Dietrich? 58.
Well, all respect to the major, but turns out you put enough shrapnel in the air, they're going to inhale some of it. And so, yeah, I'm focusing on putting shrapnel in the air that they can breathe.
I mean, they're going to, have respiratory problems for years to come, right? That is their problem here, right?
Well, no, not really. They're going to have a respiratory problem for approximately 5 seconds, and then they're going to die.
That works better for the brigade's timeline, I feel. Cool. And how's the new heavy machine gun suiting you, Corporal Crestmeyer?
Well, it's heavy. That came with a name. And it's a machine gun. That also came with a name. It's a bit more. They're used to a finicky slug rifle where you have to be like quite precise. So this is I wouldn't call it an upgrade, but it's a change. Back in the day, you got to be precise, and now you don't, which is interesting.
I mean, all that careful advice that Dietrich gave you last planet about choosing your time and putting a single shot down range, kind of useless now. But hey, okay. And yeah, so I think, in response, you have surprised these things, and they are basically, they're trying to get away, right? You have really kicked the fight or flight instinct in them off. Now, in some cases, flight is like straight through you, right, to get outside. But hey, they're coming right for you, right? That's how it rolls. So yeah, let's. Is everyone fighting, or anyone doing anything different? Fight. Okay. Well, let me roll for the aliens to attack. A paltry 2. Okay. So okay, so we have Terry first, then Dietrich, then the aliens and BD, and then Crestmeyer. But the aliens will all be dead by that stage. So Brian Miter first.
Yes. Well, let's see how it goes. $48. So yeah, better. So I guess I picked up on Dietrich's method of aim at the ground below him. Throw up shrapnel.
releasing the trigger is something best left for when all the aliens are dead, right? That's okay. And then Dietrich, let's see how you follow that up.
All due respect to the captain, I think we are having ourselves a bit of a competition here. Good-natured, of course. Probably over who's getting a $2 steak in the mess.
Yeah, and so that is, I guess, a veritable turkey shoot, right? They were going to go next, but there's none of them left, so they are not harming a hair on Major BD or Corporal Crestmeyer's head. I mean, either of those two things could cause a dip in morale.
All right, so we're in. Establish a perimeter, Sergeant. You're going to watch our back while we make our way to the bridge. We've got to see what's going on here. If we can get this, we need to get this vessel operational again. And those platforms are going to be a problem, but Miter, you've got some technical know-how. You're with me. And I want to head to the bridge.
Yeah, so I think on the bridge, right, you find so you find a few crew members on the way, but they are corpses, right?
Oh, they're shredded. Okay.
They've been shredded. You do find maybe the chief or someone, the helmsman, belted into his chair. Now he's dead. He's taken like a beak through the skull, but like the autopilot is on.
Got it. Yeah. So actually, it occurs to me the first thing we're going to do when we get to the bridge is I'm going to do an all ship. I'm going to get on the PA and say, this is Major BD of the 316th Expeditionary Force. We have claimed the vessel and eliminated the Xeno threat. If there's anybody who has taken shelter in order to escape the attack, come to the bridge, vac suit up and come to the bridge now. We need your expertise if you can provide it. If not, we want to get you off of this ship to where you'll be safe.
Okay, so I think maybe it's like 5 minutes or 10 minutes of like you set that transmission on repeat, and I think one of the someone who's like securing the ship, Crestmeyer or Dietrich or someone like that, sees a door open or attempt to open, right? So the mechanism has been not shot to shit, but pecked to within an inch of failure. And they need so this lone crew member, second class engineer Walsh, needs help to get out. And she's like glad to see someone. I think her oxygen was pretty low. She had maybe hooked something up into life support. So she doesn't have much left in the suit.
That's okay. We're gonna, we find I think it's easy enough to find a spare vac suit and,
there's plenty of stuff
lock
around.
it in and stuff like that and everything. And so, as far as we can tell you, the only crew member that survived the attack, Specialist Walsh. I'm the Major. We're here with the 316th Expeditionary Force. We got your call, and I need you to tell me everything you know about what happened. Don't leave out any details. Anything you say might be important.
We docked. We were filling up, I don't know, like maybe a week ago. And there was a problem with the other platform, and we sent a shuttle over, and then there was a problem with the platform. Like, it started losing altitude, and we couldn't get ourselves loose. And then when we sent out a team to get free, they got killed by these flying lizards.
All right. Well, for the time being, it's going to be difficult to get you back to our ship. So I'm going to ask you to sit tight, and we may need your knowledge of this vessel and how it works. If you can give us give my technical officer here, in fact, let me introduce you to Corporal Crestmeyer here. He's going to take care of you. He'll make sure that you're safe and that everything is all right. And I bring her over to Crestmeyer. And Corporal, this is civilian. The civilian has survived the attack, and we want to make sure that she makes it back to the 316th so that she can debrief us fully on what happened. In the meantime, you're responsible for her safety. Anything that wants to get a beak into her, it goes into you first. Understood?
Yes, sir.
All right. And what I would like to do is, if we can, I want to get, we probably can't get the ship operational on our own just with who we have here, right? I would need to get some mechanics in from the other, like from the brigade or something, probably, or what?
I mean, it's taken a lot of damage, right?
Yeah.
But you could certainly get it into orbit by yourselves.
Got it.
If you could get it free.
Yeah.
And once it's up there, you call in some kind of tug or engineering or whatever it is.
So next step is put a squad together, give them laser cutters or, munitions charges. If that's what, if we've got some vacuum munitions that come with their own liquid oxygen supply so that they can, actually get a small explosion going while they're in space or whatever. But I suspect this is like laser cutters that we're working with here. Or vibro blades or something like that.
Yeah.
And we've got to cut the tether that is holding the ship to the platform.
Okay. I mean, that sounds like an encounter. These aliens are going to leave you go free that easy.
I suspect it probably does. Yeah. And so we've got the chief's probably got to be there with us, right? Because she's got to tell us what's going on and what we
exactly what needs to be
all
done,
that kind of stuff and everything. Yeah, exactly. So she's along. So escort mission, my favorite kind of video game mission. Everybody loves escort missions, right? Right, where you got to keep some fragile NPC that doesn't go where you want it to from getting killed by the enemy. Yeah. That sounds like fun.
Otherwise, you might blow the wrong thing up, and that might be a bad idea.
Yeah, because what we don't want is a chain reaction that blows up all the fuel inside that tether, all the way down to the platform and the ship that we're all on. So yeah.
That would be bad for sure. So I guess you have,
Sergeant, there is a reason that I did not assign you to be her bodyguard.
Terribly unfair. In the past, when we've done taking care of people, it's been NFA. Basically being aware of what's going on instead of just being fixated on shooting and killing. So that sounds like something Crestmeyer might be good at.
I also figure she'll listen to Crestmeyer. So.
I mean, he's pretty even through the faceplate of the armor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so like, why don't you describe how you're getting out there and what the general disposition is? I think this is something like, mag boots time, right?
Oh yeah, mag boots. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
clomp, knee clomp, knee clomp, knee clomp, as we're walking along the hall.
Yeah.
And maybe we have to we've got some kind of a big sled that's got our our torch units on it or something like that.
Yeah.
That's
Cool. So yeah, who is? I guess it's quiet, right? You can kind of feel the kind of stormy air. You can kind of see the kind of acidic pressure readings on your HUD displays, cracking and warning you that this is not a good idea.
But the irony is that the view is probably like genuinely awe-inspiring, looking down into the kind of swirling colored gases of I can't imagine it's not a little hypnotic if you were to like actually.
Yeah, you've got this deep swirling orange below you, and then maybe in the distance you have technically a sunrise, right? Yeah, it's far away, and a coin-sized light in the distance, but I'm sure Spudmeyer is taking a great line of Crestmeyer, right? This is the money shot. So yeah, I think we should roll dominance. Who wants to get involved at this stage? Miter, BD, Crestmeyer, are you getting involved in this dominance check?
I've got someone to look after.
Okay, cool. And Dietrich, are you staying out of it as well?
I just shoot what the major tells me to. The major
Okay.
usually tells me when something is present to shoot, so I'll listen to him.
Okay, so let's check for dominance. So close. It stayed on the 9 for a moment. Okay, so all successes, best success is BD with a 9. So choose your range.
I'm gonna choose near.
Okay. The mystery. Okay, so I guess Crestmeyer is looking after your charge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is everyone else fighting?
Yeah, it's sidearm out. I'm looking at I'm again watching everybody's backs. This is we're hella exposed out here. This is like being on open ground, having birds swooping down at us from the sky.
And literally stuck to the ground.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. So
hunkering down is a little bit difficult right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, the aliens will Shakar try to kill you.
Oh, that's not good.
Good roll.
So would I just test for none?
You're testing NFA because you are protecting your person. Or not. So they got an 8, which is a success. Dietrich gets an 8, which is a success. Everyone else is a fail. So the aliens inflict a kill on everyone else, right? Everyone total. So they come, swooping in out of nowhere.
If I'll just use a strength here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, why not? I
why
had the
not?
thought, let's not question it, let's just do it.
So let me describe what happens, right? And then
Sure.
you can see, because it'll be even more awesome.
Yeah, I also, as soon as I said that, I should be thinking about what my contribute is, which I never do until I'm like, oh crap. So yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So they don't come straight at you or straight out of the sun or anything. They come around the hull. So like you're on one side and they fly in the other side and they just, you see them, well, the camera sees them split up, right, to go around both sides and then just come around like straight at you from both sides, no sound, no nothing. And these guys are maybe a little bit bigger. These are the guys who wouldn't fit inside the hull that you have to root out, right? So these guys are not, seagull sized. These guys are more like ostrich sized. And yeah, they're swooping straight on you. And I think they clip one trooper, and just the force of that impact, his mag boots lose a grip, and he just like hurtles off and falls into the gas giant. So what's the flashback for Mitre?
What is the flashback? It's I think you see young Terry Mitre, this nervous, hyperactive little kid, and he's managed to piss off a group of bullies in school, and they're they're across this field, and they're charging at him, and he's standing there just like looking unconcerned, and it's like this cold, snowy day, piled snow and ice, and the group of bullies get to a certain point, and they just all slip and like fall, and then he just kind of pulls the hose out that he had used to water the ground down in front of him, and he just like sprays them all and laughs, and then like runs away. And cut to present day. I think Terry's like carefully adjusting these knobs on his highly modified E-cannon, and just takes careful, much more like sniper aim, and you see him fire, and this fuel tanker just like gets hit and just blasts fire into the air over them, and all of these aliens just basically fly straight into a fireball, and then just kind of rain down his ash. They're not really raining down because it's not gravity, it's just momentum that carries what's left of them down onto us. But it snows the ash of aliens down onto the scene.
So why don't you roll kills for that?
Yes, I roll kills, and then we have to name that. Wow, I was at 69 kills, and then I roll another 69 kills. I don't know what that tells us.
Nice.
Yeah, so...
what's the name of that flashback?
Is this like knows the terrain, or?
Yeah, it's something like that.
I think it's like lay the groundwork.
Lay the groundwork, yeah.
Lay the groundwork, yeah.
Cool, yeah. Yeah, I think the loss of one fuel pod is no great shakes for saving everyone's ass, right? Cool. So yeah, I think once that happens, I think it takes care of everyone, or the ones that weren't directly killed in this attack. Think twice about their attack run and veer off to safer areas. So yeah, with Walsh's help, you you cut off that pipe, that was really securely attached to it, and you do like a quick patch job so that the valve is not open, so you're not leaking even more fuel out of that. And then, like, as soon as that happens, you feel a shudder, right? The weight of that orbital platform falls away, and thank goodness for those mag boots, right? Because the jolt as those station keeping thrusters start to go back up to safe orbit, definitely throw you off balance, and you can kind of see that the pipe slowly descends snake-like, and you can kind of see a dark spot really low down where it was, and maybe it was obscuring some of the normal atmosphere, and you just see that disappear into the depths, and you start to raise back up towards where you feel a lot safer.
All right. Well done, Captain. And so I think we get everybody back to, back into the ship. And yeah, and I think this is where, like you say, we call back to the carrier for a tug to bring this thing in. We're going to need, there's going to need a cleaner crew has got to come in and scrub this place out. Our, HRD crew, human remains disposal, has to, actually it'd be TRD, Terran remains disposal, or Terran remains handling, TRH, or TRH team has to come in and thoroughly, they got to do their job. There's a whole lot of dead Terrans here who need to be ID'd. They need to be, records updated. Their next of kin needs to be informed. All of that stuff. So we get the TRH. We get a TRH team in here. But basically, like, I feel like we've kind of gotten the ship out of play, and it's we've secured it at this point.
I mean, that's the major asset that you were sent to recover, basically, right?
So having done that, we are then going to like, once we're back and everything, we're going to get a drop ship, and we're going to go down to that platform, because we gotta we need to either move it back up to where it can be effectively used again, or we got to scuttle it completely. No kidding. So let me do just a quick kind of a meta discussion. So my understanding as a player is that it's down in the atmosphere, but not like unrecoverably so at this point.
Yeah,
it's dangerous to go down and try and get it.
I mean, I'd initially said, like, maybe been framing it as, it's just dropped into the depths, but I think it's much more interesting if it falls onto one of those floating islands, right? So
absolutely, that's for sure. Yeah, that's perfect.
So maybe it doesn't disappear into the depths. You just see it stop and kind of shudder just within reach, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and I mean, I kind of love the idea that it, it's almost certainly like gas, like colorful gas swirling around it as it falls, and then suddenly it hits, and like, for a second it clears enough we can see that it's dropped onto one of those islands before the atmosphere swirls back again to something like that. Sure. So cool. So we got to go down there. We got to suit up and go down there. But is our engineer safe on board?
Yeah. So you can I mean, I guess she is probably thinking she should stay on the Ararat and see if she can start some basic repairs to make it, livable in, which is fine. Maybe she's going to take away a few of your troopers who are handy that way to do that kind of thing.
So I'm going to make sure that we put in the paperwork that she is the highest living ranking officer on that ship and that she is now the captain of that ship.
Okay, yeah. I mean, she's Navy, right? So like a non-commissioned crew chief or engineer, right? So, I mean, you know,
Acting
who knows?
captain.
Yeah,
sure.
acting captain.
Okay.
Sole survivor of the Ararat.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she'll you know, she has a story that will have people buying her drinks for the rest of her life, so she should look at it that way.
Yeah. I mean, there are rules for field promotions in this game.
Oh.
So if BD dies, the next highest rank takes his rank. You know, no harm, no foul, I think, is the brigade's rules on this.
Exactly. Captain Miter's in charge of the squad if that happens. So
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
Well, Captain Miter is now Major Miter.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And if something should happen to him, Sergeant Dietrich will then be Major Dietrich. God help you all.
Fantastic.
But yeah,
it is a future devoutly to be wished for.
Maybe the brigade will get everyone gets an E-cannon rule then, huh?
So I would love it if we could take our little mid-game break here,
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
we'll go down to the platform and see what we can do.
Yeah. So I have 20 past now. We say half past.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. Okay, cool. We'll see you then. Okay, welcome back. So yeah, the crew has recovered the fuel tender of the Ararat from the upper atmosphere of Renoir, and are now looking to recover the orbital platform, which will be a shiny, or not so shiny anymore, but a nice feather in their cap at least. So yeah, what's the plan, Major?
Load up in the dropship. Make sure everybody is vac suited inside the dropship. We've got all of our, armor seals double checked and everything. Hose down the dropship with some, whatever base coating solution to keep the, acidic atmosphere from eating into the hull too quickly. And then we're going to drop down. We're going to see if that thing is at all recoverable. If we can relaunch it or clear the area enough that we can get one of those tugs that you described down to the upper atmosphere. My hunch is it may be a little too, it may be too heavy a lift in both the kind of figurative and literal senses, but we got to go down and we got to see what happens. And if it's at all recoverable, we can. This is a significant asset. So.
Okay, so I put the dropship on the map. So just to remind everyone, the rules for the dropship are the commander, which I'm assuming is going to be BD, will roll NFA for the dropship in combat, causing D10 kills at any range. The dropship is crippled if it takes a kill. So basically if the aliens beat Jim's roll, and destroyed if it takes another kill. It can be repaired in between encounters. It provides extra armor tick for anyone inside. And while you're inside the dropship, you're all at the same range, and Jim will move you with the dropship. Though obviously, once you get close to that floating island with the platform, feel free to jump out if you disagree with his range choices. So, as usual, let's maybe decide on your load, what weapon you're using as a default. I guess no need to ask for some of you, but I'm always curious. So I guess Dietrich is keeping with Betsy. Is it Betsy?
It is Betsy.
It's Betsy.
You would be correct, sir.
Presumably the same for Miter. Heavy machine gun for Crestmeyer. And sticking with I guess you got the sidearm, right, just in case.
Yeah.
But you're piloting the dropship. Okay, cool.
Yes. I have missiles.
Yes. So who is rolling for dominance? Okay, Crestmeyer, you sticking? Okay, cool. So roll, and you'll roll NFA 2. Oh, there you go. Sorry, I forgot to put counters out, didn't I?
Oh, yeah.
Is this an ambush? It is an ambush.
They are not expecting the dropship.
So, yeah, I think, you have happened upon some of these hapless aliens basically sitting atop this platform, discovering, exactly what's going on here. And, they are focused on whatever goodies they can find inside this refueling platform when, out comes out of the atmosphere hurtling this dropship. So why don't you describe what happens? And sorry, who gets to choose range? It's you, Jim. Yeah.
Yeah, near range. We drop out and, like I said, the atmosphere clears enough that I, and mostly what I've got is, I've got that great big, like spotlight, the spotlights underneath, and I'm swirling them around to point at, big clumps of them so that my troops can see them, and I'll thumb the missile button to kind of get a couple of, any of them that are kind of straggling off, send a couple of, motion-seeking missiles after them to get a few kills. But mostly I'm the spotter for everybody.
Cool. So there's 5 tokens out, so I'm going to remove 4 of them, and everyone gets to roll kills. You're at near range, so do your worst. So why don't you describe it? Let's start with BD. Those missiles.
Yeah, I think it's, and this is not like great big huge, like surface to air or whatever, air to air missiles or anything. This is like little, kind of corkscrew, like the Iron Man style, like like that, just kind of fanning out to catch, like a bird tries to swerve and then it gets on its tail and kind of blows it out of the air, on what just gonna rain a pile of scales down into the atmosphere and stuff. So just a few here and there. I think I get 7 of them for good measure. So,
And miter 21.
Sergeant Dietrich, you want all them on the right or the left?
I'll take them on the left.
All right. Blast away all the ones on the right.
So the E-cannon pointing at the portholes of this. Last time when it was actual breathable atmosphere, this seemed all right, but this seems a little bit unnatural, right? You can kind of see some kind of charging of the atmosphere with the E-cannon going off. I'm sure some tech somewhere is having a nervous twitch about what could go wrong with this, Oppenheimer style bad idea. But hey, you're killing bugs.
Wasn't it Fermi that put down money at the first atomic test that they would night the entire atmosphere? Like they would light the whole atmosphere on fire and it would just burn away into space.
But it was definitely a live issue being discussed.
I think it was Enrico Fermi that like his money was on that being the result of the first atomic test. So luckily he lost that bet. So.
That would have been bad as opposed to good. Yeah. I mean, being right is all some scientists want, right? That's the posthumous fame that no one else can remember. It's worth it for being right. Cool. And how about Crestmeyer?
Yeah, I think. Let's see. I got again. It's an okay score, but I think those are most of the kind of like distractors. I think like we swooped in, kind of like broke up the bulk of them, and so I'm kind of left picking off. Just a few, just a mere fiver of them.
Well, I mean, I'm keeping track of the race between you and the major. He's on 12, you're on 13, so that's that's something. So yeah, what I guess you land right on the platform. Are you doing anything specific to?
I don't think we're landing on the platform.
Okay.
We are setting the dropship to hover over the platform.
Okay.
So that if this platform goes dropping out from under us, it doesn't take the dropship with it.
Yeah, cool.
But
okay.
we've got belaying lines. We all drop down commando style out of the sides of the thing. And then we're gonna go into the platform and see if we can get it operational again and get it back up online. Okay. Or what's going on with it.
I mean, why don't you make an NFA check just to see how much of a job that is? So basically,
sure.
The higher the roll, the better. I
got a 6 under 10.
Okay. Well, you've rolled in the middle, so now I have to make a decision. So, yeah, I mean, I think it is. It's not unsalvageable, but you probably need some help. It's not going to get out of here by itself, right?
Yeah.
You can probably do something if you get that tug in, or if you I don't know, do something crazy with your dropship. But those seem like pretty difficult tasks to me. In terms of describing the floating island, right? It is kind of, it's like it's soft underfoot. Right? It's like all lichen, so the whole island is made of lichen. There doesn't seem to be much solid in here, and that lichen is kind of what's the best way to describe? Like strands of it are woven together, and they're actually going down deeper into the atmosphere, and they seem to be acting as some kind of an anchor or a tether for it.
It's a balloon, essentially, is what it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean,
something
it's
like
buffeting,
that.
It's floating.
Yeah. But yeah, if it's tethered down into the atmosphere down below, oh shoot. Yeah, I mean, okay.
And I say lichen to give you an idea of what it seems like, but it's much like, it seems much more tougher than that. It's like,
sure.
I guess it's like a spider web or spider silk kind of strength going on here. But yeah, that's the feel of it. And yeah, so that tether is going down deep into the atmosphere, whatever is down there. And again, you can kind of see below there's like this rich thermal that the mining is for, just floating like a stream inside the atmosphere. And then down there you can see more of these aliens just kind of coasting along that thermal.
Okay. Here's what we are going to do. We are going to wire this platform for munitions. We're going to take all the munitions that we've got. We're going to take everything out of the dropship. We are going to push it off of this island, and then we're going to detonate it after it has fallen into the atmosphere.
Okay. So yes, you do still have a token. So like as you're getting all of that stuff together, yeah, you see like maybe some of these things have been.
We didn't finish that fight. I didn't
No,
realize
but
that.
that's fine. I think it's
okay.
We don't have to have the fight happen all in
Oh,
one
I guess
block.
that's true. Yeah.
And I think when you're like exploring what you can and when you're moving, that's when you get like jumped is the wrong word to use, but that's when you see that you haven't quite cleared the island of
sure.
all the aliens.
Okay.
So yeah, what's everyone doing?
I've got my sidearm always ready to go.
Okay. So everyone's shooting?
Yeah, we're still at near
range. For the glory of this
open it up.
this combat.
Yeah.
Another one. Not good enough. I mean, almost good enough, because there was some ones in there for you as well. But BD, you take it.
I think that's and that is literally the like motion out of the corner of my eye, and just like quick draw out of the holster, and
I mean, the benefits to have everyone else doing work as you stand around commanding is that you're ready for them, right? Yeah. So roll your kills.
8. The last, kind of little gaggle of them, and then just whatever individual stragglers are off flying away.
Yeah. Cool.
So here is what I would like to do, which is, as I said, we need to hold, like, once we start tampering with this, they're probably going to know it and they're going to come after us. But Captain Miter and I are going to, run some lines and stuff like this, all, to the various, out to whatever fuel processing stuff is going on. And maybe if we can even rig it so that it like is sucking fuel in as it is dropping down into the atmosphere. And, just like I'm in the control panel there, I'm just going to, pull out my TPK grenade and put a timer on it. And then we're going to drop this thing into the atmosphere, and we're going to see if we can actually light some significant portion of this atmosphere, send it up in a chain reaction.
Okay. So you're using the TPK to basically fictionally but not mechanically, right?
Correct. That is what I'm doing. And I'm totally cool with needing to requisition a new one and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I'm using it for here. Yeah.
This is exactly the kind of thing you were warning people against, right, at the very start. Let's not do anything that might cause the planet to explode.
Well, let's not do anything that might blow us up. Is what I was warning.
The aid can always find another gas giant to refuel it, right?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. So, I guess you're doing this, right? As the next batch of aliens comes in, because this is their turf, and they are going to fight for it. So I think you're out and about getting all this stuff ready when they come swooping in. I guess I'm going to move the dropship to one side. How's everyone for the dominance check? Same as last time? Yep. Okay. Let's see if I can roll halfway decent today. I can. Okay. So the best result is Miter with a 9. Sorry, with an 8. So you get to decide the range for everyone.
Near.
No prizes for near, huh? Okay. So, do you think obviously, like if you win the mission, you can do all the stuff at your leisure, right? So I don't think there's a there's a reason that I need to get you on, destroy the island and the tether during the combat. I don't think fictionally that makes sense. So I think you can keep your powder dry on the TPK placed in the right position and all the stuff with saving the platform and such. Okay. So what's everyone doing?
I am doing that thing where I am like, I've got my head down, I'm working. If anything gets too close to me, I'll, pick it off. But I think this is like everybody around me, shooting as I am wiring all this stuff up.
Okay. Yeah.
I've got the manual for the platform. I have pulled the manual for the platform and I've got it on one, like open, whatever the 3-ring binder is open on the, on the console as I am, rewiring stuff.
Okay. So if everyone else is shooting, I guess roll your FA, and I will roll for the aliens.
Sorry, I'm going to activate my kinetic force field for this fight.
Okay. So,
and then I'm working.
Well, that is very interesting because, the aliens' special ability is ignore armor with those really sharp beaks, which you haven't seen yet. I mean, you've seen fictionally, but you haven't seen them take any effect.
Okay.
So
yeah.
If anyone feels like taking a kill onto their armor, unfortunately not this planet. And that affects the major force field as well.
It absolutely does. It explicitly says any wounds that armor could normally. That's.
So, and that would have been a nasty surprise for the dropship as well. But unfortunately, these aliens or ye have been rolling most definitely in your favor. So yeah, they got a 2, so that is a kill on BD and Crestmeyer. And Dietrich and Miter both roll 8s, which are both successes. So why don't you roll your kills and describe your awesomeness? Miter, why don't you go first? With extra skulls.
I don't know, running out of ways to describe the E-cannon, racking up kills at near range. I mean, the atmosphere is definitely getting thicker, and we're shooting energy beams through it. So I think, I think what you see is just the air. The air that the beam passes through, continues to glow for a while after the shot passes through. So we're just, the field of battle is getting filled with these, glowing beams of air.
That's wicked cool.
Okay.
That's awesome.
The atmospheric echoes of your starting to look like a Mass Effect weapon now. How about Dietrich?
Well, turns out you put enough of the metal in these things, they kind of turn into lizard bird popcorn, and there's a little bit of an area of effect, so they start kind of, exploding, and then they kind of hit other things and explode. That's why I got so many kills this time, I think, because flying around in that atmosphere, I think it might be somewhat flammable.
Somewhat. Okay, and the aliens are going to push Crestmeyer and BD out to long range, to far range rather, and you both take kills. So you will both be messes. Okay. Anyone doing anything different this time? I'm sorry. I'm just assuming, right? Miter and Dietrich are going to stay in range, right? That's just to make that explicit. Okay.
I need to change weapons to my slug rifle.
Okay. How about Crestmeyer? I think your heavy MG is 0 kills at long range.
Oh yeah. I think I'll have to get back to near
Okay.
range.
So you can try an NFA check to get back into close range, or into closer range rather. That's no problem. Yeah, so they are continuing to try to kill you, Shakar. I presume Miter and Dietrich are both trying to see how much they can kill out of these Ikanas before they kunk over and destroy the entire atmosphere. But let's see. So if you're changing weapons, just make a roll, see if you're not going to die, and okay. This is going to get bloody. Alien's got a 6, as did Crestmeyer, and everyone else is rolling lower than that. So the aliens are killing everyone. So yeah, they are coming in. They are actually, what happens is that, you know, maybe the reason you're out of range for a moment is they swoop up into the atmosphere. And I don't know if you've ever seen gannets dive into the sea. You know, they just fly up high and then they tuck their wings in and they just dive straight down with those massive beaks. And you are now those fish.
So I was on vacation 2 weeks ago, and we were at Montauk, which is out on the end of Long Island in New York. And there was just a massive swarm of birds that were all swirling around, diving into the sea. And we're like, what the hell is going on with that? So we ran down to the beach to see what was up. And there was a pod of whales that were close enough that you could see them from offshore, breaching and stuff like that and everything. And the birds were just going bananas, in their wake, all the chum that they had behind. And and they were 30 feet up. They just tuck and plummet into the sea like a rock. It was wild. Yeah.
Yeah. So they are playing target practice with you all. So you all take a kill. Unless anyone feels like hitting those combat drugs.
Well, I just used NFA, so no.
Oh, sorry.
That'll help me change weapons faster.
Yeah. So everyone take a kill. And then let's go through who's first. Changing weapon, or it's changing range. So you get to move in, Leandro, into close range for next turn. They do not get to push you out because they didn't beat you. So yeah, Brian, why don't you roll your kills? They're pushing Miter out. They're pushing Dietrich out. They're pushing BD out. They're being mean aliens. So so I guess you get to kill 1d6, if I remember correctly, Brian.
Take one of them down.
Okay. And Dietrich, I cannot remember what your Ecan is like at this range. Is it just one, or did you up it to 1d6?
It is just one,
just
and
one.
I am disappointed in that.
As are those aliens. They are terribly disappointed. But at least you're taking care of a couple of threat tokens, right? So, Crestmeyer, why don't you describe how you're charging in and suddenly the closest trooper to these aliens?
Yeah. Didn't expect that, to be honest. I think just in terms of I think this is just a case of maybe just a bit too much faith on my comrades, because they've been killing loads of these, and I assume they're a hardy bunch of bastard veterans. They can take care of themselves. So I think, and I've been doing jack shit, but they'll be fine. So I think there was that moment of just frenzy where I had to where I saw that we're being pushed back. It's all right, no, we're not. We're charging forward, and I don't know successfully managed to get or got closer than probably I should be.
Yeah. And Jim, how about this? What does it look like when BD is basically, maneuvered out of the combat? I know we're in kind of a tight space.
Well, yeah, I mean, except I think I was working on getting everything wired and stuff like this. And I think that, I activate my pips and I'm all like, cool, no problem. I don't need to worry about this. And then one of them just smashes right into me. And maybe it's not even the beaks. It's just that they're just diving at us so hard and fast that just the impact, the kinetic force of the impact is enough to, to mess us up. And I get slammed by a couple of them. And then to finish this, I've got to drop down, flip over on my back, crawl under a console and, basically hot wire some wires together or something like this to finish the job. So I'm, not in the fight just while it's going on. And they've also learned that, they want to dive bomb us and then get right out of the way and not be swooping around trying to just peck at us. So, yeah, so they're just, they've figured out to stay away and just take their shots when we're not looking.
So how's everyone doing on health right now?
One off from
crippled.
Okay, crippled. How about Dietrich and Miter?
If I move, go ahead.
That's it. I'm a mess.
I'm a mess.
Okay. So remember, at any time before or after die rolls, if it looks apparent that you're going to die or whatever, just holler for a strength or a weakness. A weakness will do also to get you out of trouble. So, I guess so BD is out of the encounter, maybe knocked for 6, maybe struggling to regain consciousness or whatever. But why don't we, I guess, are you killing or are you doing something else? You're muted, Leandro. Okay.
God. I already said in chat, if Crestmeyer dies tonight, I already have a replacement in mind.
You got a weakness you can use.
You got a weakness you can use. If the
yeah. Yeah, I know. No, I'm just I'm thinking in a way I don't think this I'm just thinking, what will Crestmeyer do? Weakness is you have to do that before die roll, right?
No, just like in the strength, at an earlier stage, you make your roll, you don't like it, you just pull the ripcord, use your weakness.
If Donna says, okay, and you take a kill, if you raise your hand before he reaches the second L in the word kill, you can do it. So
okay, all right. Look, what is the
death or glory, or death or running, or glory or running away? I think those are your two options here. But you can roll for glory and then make your running away choice later on.
Yeah, I'll roll for glory, sure.
Okay.
If I learn anything from Sergeant Dietrich, it's kill them bastards.
Yeah, front towards enemy, rinse and repeat. I presume Dietrich and Miter are following their own advice, right?
Good question. If I advance, does that take up my turn?
Yeah. So if you specifically say you're spending your action to change range, then that is your turn.
Okay.
And you do it automatically, right? That's the it's a sure thing. Well, whereas if you use fighting, you get to change range if you succeed and you're higher than your opponent. Okay. So it's not a sure thing. Whereas if you just say I'm changing range, it's certain, but it's all you're doing.
with combat drugs, it's if I roll a 10 that I take a kill, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're rolling FA for fighting, obviously, and then if you don't like your result, either if it's a miss or if it's not a good enough success, you can just say I'm re-rolling that.
Okay.
And again, after you see all the rolls on the table, obviously.
Okay.
And if you roll a 10 on that re-roll, it's a kill.
So no surprise. I am shooting.
Okay. And how about Miter? Shooting? Okay, cool. Alien's got a 6. Okay. So, Dietrich, you got a 7, which is before the aliens, so you're not getting killed. Miter got a 5 going after the aliens, which I guess ultimately will be the last token on the planet. Crestmeyer rolling a 9, missing. So here's your devil's bargain, right? You could spend your combat drugs, re-roll, but if you roll a 10, you're dead. Or you could say, I'm going to use my weakness. I'm going to get out of here. Now, the timing on this is a little bit funny, right? So
there's nothing funny about it. You let Dietrich take his kills.
You let Dietrich take his kills.
Then you use your weakness, and you actually are removing. Yeah. And you get a medal for removing the last token from the planet.
Again, right? So when you use a weakness, you remove one token and remove yourself from combat. So you're going to gazump Miter's medal and his kills and save yourself. That's what I would do.
But the book is also very explicit that you've got to narrate it as like a loss, as something embarrassing, as that it's like it's not a triumph of any kind.
Yeah, it is, an act of pure selfishness, cowardice. Fill in the bad details. Maybe it gets caught on camera, right? And it also opens you up to being court-martialed for demotion. And now that you have a rank, you can be demoted. And maybe Miter takes it personally, right? You took his medal from him, damn it. But that's for after the encounter.
So I get a medal and possibly get demoted.
Yeah, it's strange, but hey.
That's amazing.
So, I guess we go from the top, right? Dietrich, you rolled a 7. Why don't you roll kills and
I'm at far range.
Oh, so it's just one kill. Yeah.
I'm just taking that one kill.
Why don't you tell us what that looks like? Because that is strange. Down from your highs of 88.
I remember what BD said about the nostrils. And I decided to see what would look like if I just aim real careful with that E-cannon and put one square in the nostrils of one of them sumbitches.
Right.
It was not as satisfying as putting a bunch of metal in the air, but at least I tried it. I'm sure that the Major will be happy that I tried to do some precision shooting with this thing. And, it's good to try new things.
Okay. And the aliens are going to kill Miter and Crestmeyer and probably push Miter out off the range chart and Crestmeyer to far range again. Are you doing anything, Leandro?
I mentioned in the chat, I almost kind of wanted to die rather than have to deal with all the nonsense. But there's like one more token left. So
can we?
Yeah.
So let's call time out for a second.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say all the nonsense, Leandro, as a player, are you uncomfortable with kind of where we've sort of pushed your character into?
No.
And you'd like to do something different, or what?
No, it's just like because I love tragedy and drama. That's why I'm drawn to
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Crestmeyer die. That's why I'm
Sure.
drawn to it.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly fine with the position with where he's going.
I just want to make sure we hadn't made you uncomfortable, because when you said deal with all that it wasn't all the stuff that like the drama that we created. But you're the master of your fate if you want to.
Yeah. So it's
Crestmeyer to
completely up
go
to you.
and
So in
make
fact,
another
you want
trooper, then
the you want the extra drama, right? Yeah, it's so surprising. So this is the first time I've had to do this in 316, is put a red X in the character. I get to do this a lot in Band of Blades, which I'm also running at the moment with my home group, and I put a red X through character icons, so often. But this is the first in 316. And Miter, you get a kill, which puts you in crippled. And I am gonna be I'm gonna root for a second kill and not push you out. Because I am a terrible person. Sorry, I should have said, Puckett, you can push Dietrich into near range if you want.
Oh,
I
actually,
would like to do that.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So why don't we describe?
Are you sure you don't want to push me away because I'm about to get a kill?
Sorry, you're on a 5, right?
Yeah.
So I mean,
so I'm going next.
You're going next. You're going to get a kill. But maybe I'm not. Am I going to kill Dietrich anyway? Are you moving into close range? It doesn't really matter. Yeah, I will push you out. We've got a chance against one person, right? Okay, we'll push you out after killing you. What does the fall of Crestmeyer look like? What's the video going to be like back home?
I think in the video they're gonna keep the bit where he charges in. I think they're not gonna keep the bit where it's so sudden that it's kind of anticlimactic. I mean, even in that armor, he looks good charging into that, but maybe he had a lot of like I said, he had a lot of confidence on his teammates. Agree with him because they're the veterans. So I think it's almost a mercy that the beak just kind of like smashes through that helmet, and there's no time for him to think about anything else.
Ouch. Okay, so Dietrich, just you and this alien left. Oh yeah, between 1 and 100 aliens left. What do you do? Oh, you're shooting already. Okay, I don't know why I asked. The aliens are also trying to kill you. They do not. You're safe. I guess 1 kill, right? And
I'm in near range.
Oh, sorry, I didn't. So roll your D100.
And I am very, very angry.
Very, very angry. 41. Yeah, why don't you describe that for us?
Keeping Crestmeyer alive is my responsibility. It was my mission and it was my task, and I have failed in that responsibility. I stalk forward, laying down fire, almost with an eerie precision, almost uncanny-like. And you just hear that boom, 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 boom of the E-cannon. This is not a metal storm. This is pure targeted rage. May those beasts be damned to whatever hell they believe in. And when I finish, I will walk over to Crestmeyer's body, pick it up over my shoulder, and carry it back to the Major. And tell him that I not only failed Crestmeyer, but I failed the major.
Okay. Shiny medal for Dietrich. That probably doesn't sit right, but nonetheless. Okay. So what does the aftermath look like?
I nod to Sergeant Dietrich. I say, well, then your last duty to him is seeing to it that he gets back to the carrier.
Sir. Yes, sir.
And we finish wiring the platform. And, I think like we, and I think we, then we like get into the drop ship, launch it, kind of pull back a little bit, and just like shoot the crap out of that platform to destabilize it enough that it starts to sag and droop a little. And then like, we've destroyed enough of the integrity that the fuel platform goes dropping in. And as soon as that starts to drop, it's pull up on the stick, hit the turbo thrusters to get us up out of range, because there's going to be a great big light show in the atmosphere.
Yeah, and that TPK goes off, right? And
Yep.
I think we see like a cascade of fire explode through the orbital station, and then that just sets that floating island on fire, and then that runs down the tether and then hits that stream. Okay, yeah, and you're back home with this, flaring, it's going to be on fire for the rest of time, basically, gas giant.
I like the idea that we got to get out of here before it does actually turn into a star.
Okay. Well, I mean, you want to save the Ararat, right? The tug won't have gotten here yet, so let's give it a week before it.
But yeah, we've got to like there's a chain reaction that is starting to build. Yeah. So yeah,
cool.
I like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay, so end of mission paperwork. So Leandro, making up a new character is pretty simple. You look at all the points that you have. So you can come back as a character, either a trooper or one rank lower than your previously held rank, which I guess is trooper, right? You get to redistribute whatever points you had, however you want. So I don't think you had gotten +1 last time. So it's basically 10 points between fighting ability and non-fighting ability. Now let me check something. I don't know if it's especially clear that, because you died in the last round of combat. Usually if you die in the middle of combat, you just make your new character and you drop back into the action. So I would say basically you're going to roll off to see whether you gain a level, right? Because whoever gets most kills gains a level, which is, by my calculations, Dietrich. And everyone else rolls off with a D10. So Leandro, Jim, and Brian, you all roll a D10. Whoever rolls highest gets that extra. There you go. Okay, so you're going to come back with an 11-point character, Leandro, and you get to split that like you did when you were creating Crestmeyer. So as you like it, between fighting ability, non-fighting ability, but at least 2 in each. Okay.
And a second strength unlocked, right?
Yes. So the strength that you had used previously is still used, and then you get at least you get 1 more strength.
Okay.
What's the max for stats?
10.
Okay.
So the max is 18, and the max any stat can be is 10. So it'll be 10-8 is your, or 9-9 is where you top out.
And then we each get to bump one weapon.
Yeah. So then you each get to bump one weapon at one range by one level. So like for your standard slug rifle, that would be a D6 to a D10 or a 1 to a D6 or whatever it is. And I guess I don't think everyone else needs to be reminded, but if you've already maxed out with 2 improvements on any weapon at any range, that's it. You're going to have to choose something else. So do you want, Leandro, do you want me to, I can just, do you know how to duplicate a character in Roll20?
Hold on. I think so.
Okay. So if you go into it and edit it, you should see a button just to the left of the big red delete one called duplicate. And then you just save that and you get your duplicate and it'll appear at the very bottom.
It's not showing up for me.
I'll do it for you. It might be a GM thing, but just check. Yeah. Okay. And I will drag Corporal Crestmeyer into the KIA section. Okay. You're taking Trooper Apples, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Don, I forget, what's the circumstance under which you take an advance for a second weapon?
So right after you do the first thing, everyone makes an NFA check to see if they can take a second thing. Okay.
Okay.
So the second thing is improve a different weapon, requisition a new weapon, or get promoted.
But it's only if you use the strength on the plan.
Yeah, only if you use a strength. So Miter is up for promotion, right? If you make that NFA check. So you gunning for promotion, Brian?
I mean, before every time I use the strength, I've gone ahead and done it just because you don't get that many chances. But I'm finally up high enough that it's, I don't know that I want to.
You get your own drop pods.
Well, drop ship.
I think I have.
Or drop ship.
Yeah,
I don't
You have pods. You get your own drop ship. Yeah.
I mean, that's an awfully good argument.
And you get your own little swanky force field armor, right?
Yeah, you get the
armor.
kinetic armor too. Yeah, when you level up too.
All right, let's go ahead. Okay, NFA succeeds. Well, there we go.
So yeah, if you make the roll and you didn't use a strength, you can either improve a different weapon than the one you just improved, or get an entirely new weapon. And remember, if you're improving your weapons, that could be grenades or hand-to-hand or whatever it is.
I bumped my power claw by 1 up to 2d6, and I now have a rocket pod.
Ho, ho, ho.
For when I get pushed out to long range or far range.
Yeah.
Quick question on rocket pods. So
Yeah.
they start at 2d10, correct?
Yeah. So the next step up is 3d10.
It's 3d10, not 1d100?
Yeah, it's 2d10, 3d10, 1d100.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's basically the same at far range as the E-cannon was at near range. So that started at 2d10 as well.
Actually, you know what? I don't need a rocket pod. I'm going to get rid of that.
I mean, you got a TPK grenade to re-requisition, right?
And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to recharge that. I'm going to re-requisition that TPK grenade. So I think is what's going to happen there.
Cool.
But I feel good about having used it to utterly obliterate that nest of aliens. So. And I can't miss that roll because I'm rolling at 10. So.
Yeah, it's guaranteed.
So I just re-requisition that use, complete my report describing why I used it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, what's the mood like back when you get aboard ship?
I would imagine that it is reasonably triumphant.
Yeah, I mean, you lose troopers, though maybe not one as famous as Crestmeyer. Every drop, there's nothing special about that.
But like everybody's like on the port side, looking out the out the portholes, looking at the the fireworks going on in the atmosphere of that planet.
Spudmeyer is getting some nice shots. Yeah, so I guess Apples was on that dropship, right? She was maybe with near Crestmeyer when he got skewered. What's she up to?
I think because it's mentioned she is a producer of all this shooting.
Well, a self-appointed producer, right?
Yeah. I think like she just kind of like, well, not watch, but like, I think it's just like she's not gonna focus it out loud, but she's kind of like just thinking, okay, well, I guess back to the grind for me. And it's just kind of like reviewing probably the last time she'll have to like help edit this propaganda piece. So she just like, I think she just kind of crouched next to Spudmeyer and just saying, make sure you get some nice shots. I doubt they'll be letting us do this again anytime soon.
And tell us what is Trooper Apple's reputation in the brigade?
Talks like a train, which means a lot.
Okay. Cool. Okay. What's Sergeant Dietrich feeling right now?
Anger. We get back to the ship. Anybody looking out that window at that planet better turn around and snap a salute, or there will be hell to pay, and I very, very well just kick their ass out an airlock so they can get a closer view of that planet.
So,
we don't lose troopers frequently. I expect people to pay proper respect when we do.
yeah, I think everyone certainly in your squad and maybe in the platoon is attuned enough to Dietrich's ways that, if they even think about cracking a joke or high-fiving about a job well done, they shut up pretty sharpish when they see that scowl. How about Miter?
I think this may be the lowest energy you've seen Miter. He's probably just quiet. Actually looking in a single direction for an extended period of time occasionally.
Okay. And I guess there is one definite thing that usually happens with some amount of fanfare, right? Dietrich is up for the Crimson Sword, right, or the Crimson Star. I can never remember which is which for NCOs.
It's a sword.
Sword. So yeah, he's getting a medal for what just transpired. What there's probably a flash announcement which is usually greeted with cheers and drinking and whatever else. What's Dietrich's reaction when the tannoy opens up with that announcement?
I call the platoon around me. I pull out a bottle of whiskey from Earth. We are not celebrating. We are mourning. To Crestmeyer, the two-time angel. And I pass the bottle around.
And the Captain Miter needs to get his skull badge upon his promotion to major. What's his attitude to that?
He used to be surprised by these things, but now I think he's like, yeah, this is just what happens if you don't die. This just keeps happening to you.
I think maybe it's not that day, right? But BD gets a message from the brigadier. She is worried about morale in your company. There's everyone is not buying into these time-worn rituals of success. If we don't keep succeeding and we don't keep celebrating that success, there'll be hell to pay.
All right. Can I figure out what she means by that?
Well, you know, if people aren't happy when they get promoted and they're not happy when they get medals, there's something wrong.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah.
Got it. Okay, yeah. Yeah. All right. So yeah. So so I think I'm gonna Major Miter and I are in this together. So I go to Terry, who I inform should now call me Bob. At least when we're in private. That's okay. But that, and to basically, so I'm going to bring him in on, I'm going to introduce him to our SSG guy, and say that this special relationship with Special Services Group is very important to us, and that you should consider cultivating your relationship with him to be as important as cultivating your relationship with the rest of the chain of command. It's my advice. And show him the communique from the major and say, together, we need to impress upon Sergeant Dietrich how important it is that he keep up appearances. He needs to stop taking things personally. Crestmeyer getting killed was not an affront to him. And if he's going to have trouble processing these sorts of setbacks, then he's going to be a sergeant forever.
I don't know that that's going to be much of a deterrent. Haven't sensed much desire to climb the ranks.
True. I think if we impress upon him the idea that climbing the ranks at the slowest possible pace will keep the brigadier off of our backs, and expressing the appropriate amount of Marine spirit when he is issued a commendation is the sort of thing that will make it easier for everyone. Does that make sense to you, Terry?
Yeah, Bob, I know what you're saying. I don't...
I'll speak to him. I just want to make sure we're on the same page on this.
I don't see Dietrich being much of a performer either. I think but he'll follow orders. I don't have any doubts about that.
Well, and I point at the communique from the brigadier. The word has come down from on high that we are to put a smile on Sergeant Dietrich's face. I'll speak to him. But just, we should make sure that together we're keeping an eye out.
Can we
Agreed.
cut? Oh, sorry. I was just saying, let's cut back to maybe Apples and Dietrich are sitting on Crestmeyer's bunk, putting his box of personal effects together, finishing off a bottle of whiskey. What's the chatter like, or is it just quiet drinking?
Apples is chattering. Well, Sergeant, I was wondering if we can requisition all these energy drinks and pass them out to the rest of the brigade. They're not really gonna do anything just sitting around. They're being passed to wherever the quartermaster is gonna do with them. I've had a taste of this what's it called? Blue brunch. It's got a bit of a punch. Actually, I think that was the catchphrase I suggested to Crestmeyer to use, but he was a bit stum about it. What do you think? Should we just pass around these energy drinks? I don't think we can drink all of this between the two of us, Sergeant.
You'll see me sitting quietly, writing notes out by hand to accompany every letter that Crestmeyer had yet to send.
Sergeant, do you want some help with that?
I would appreciate that, Apples. This is quite a bit of work to do.
Right, well, let's get working then. She's going to sit down near you and start taking some of those letters and start writing out stuff. Also move the whiskey bottle closer to her, but can't get play without some work done around here.
All you need to write is Trooper Corporal Crestmeyer greatly appreciated your letter. I regret to inform you that he was killed in the line of duty, but he died bravely, facing toward the enemy, as a good soldier should, or something along those lines.
I'm sure there'll be a mighty comfort to his fans, sir. Apple says, not looking at you, already working, and writing with one hand and pouring whiskey with the other.
I didn't think to bring more bottles. Truth be told, I didn't even think I'd need this one.
Okay, I think that's a good place to stop, unless anyone else wants to add anything. Okay, I guess I'll stop recording and we will see you next week.